Hey there guys, this is Sniper Elite V2, Sniper Elite difficulty, Walkthrough. This is Mittelwerk, whatever that word is, factory. It's the second proper level of the game, guys. I'm sure you'll know the one from the title anyway. That's how you'll have found this vid. And this is a level, I called the last one the convoy, the first proper level, but I think this is the first mission in the game that really takes the training wheels off. You know, the convoy is a proper level, but the game helps you set up that ambush. You don't really have to use your own wits to like work out what to do that level. This one, the training wheels are off. The game leads you to your own devices and introduces a cool mechanic with the sound masking, which is why I used to take that guy out. If you're doing this game on Sniper Elite difficulty, you'll already know about this, but whenever you see that symbol on the top right, you're free to fire your rifle and you won't be detected from the shot alone. Now, the reason I leave a trip mine here, guys, is because I don't find doing this bit stealthy very helpful on solo Sniper Elite difficulty. So the trip mine here is purely as I completely glitched the game out there. The trip mine's there and the landmine just in case anybody follows me up. Because when I did this game about 6 months ago on a PS3, and that noise, you'll watch. I had to turn this down. I left this in. I highly recommend you do this, but turn down the sound effects because that noise at the sound mask is awful when you're that close. Terrible sound balancing there, audio balancing. Sorry. But as I was saying, when I did this on PS3, a lot of guys followed me. But take out the sniper first, as always, because he's your main threat. You don't have too much wind in this mission, I generally find. I mean, the wind is random, I find, on this game, just to make it a bit more challenging. But in this mission, there's generally very little wind, especially inside the actual factory itself, which obviously makes a lot of sense. But for this mission, you don't need my help too much. There's some tricky stuff on the inside, but remember, use the third-person cover technique. Keep your distance, because that's where you have the power, especially against standard enemies who don't have any snipers, and you should be fine. I've got faith in you guys. Don't worry about it. You can do this. Just one thing you may have noticed, I've turned it right down, but you may be able to hear me in the background of this video, and that's because I didn't realise I was recording audio during this, so I was just having a conversation with someone in a party, just in case you're wondering. But it just shows you that you honestly, you don't need your full attention on this game to do it on Sniper Elite. You should be absolutely fine. But yeah, I suppose we'll find a tangent to talk about as always, but the reason, I'll just say before I do start a tangent or anything, the reason I don't try and do the stealthy is because there are multiple spawns here, and I get quite lucky. There don't seem to be that many enemies that spawn on me this time, but I usually get a hefty amount more than appear in this video, so that's why I don't like to go charging there. Ideally, I'd let them know where I am and just start firing after you've taken out the sniper, and you'll get a whole load of spawn, just clip them from this tower, and you'll be absolutely fine. I don't recommend trying to do things stealthy. If you're very good with the stealth in this game, by all means go for it. I'm sure there's a walkthrough on YouTube. YouTube's a wonderful place. There'll be one where somebody's done it in perfect stealth, and if that's one you want to use that one. Same with commentary, guys. If you don't like the commentary, don't worry. There'll be a plethora of Sniper Elite difficulty walkthroughs without any Englishmen talking over it. So if that's not your thing, I'm sure you can find something that will be. But if it is, stick around, because and we'll talk a bit Sniper Elite for now, I guess. But this is a mission I remember quite fondly, because when it came to Sniper Elite, I picked up the demo because the demo was kind of getting some good press from like gamers, and a lot of people were taking interest in it. And I think it's because, as we've already discussed in the last mission, 2012 was a slow year for games. In fact, I think the official game of the year was The Walking Dead, which obviously got a lot of high praise and really set Telltale on a good path that never really materialised in the end. But for the most part, it was a slow year, and the demo came out, and I think it was the X-ray kill cam that really impressed people, and people loved sniping. Who doesn't love trying to be a sniper? As you see, guys, I'm not a good shot, so if you wanted any more confidence that you can do this game when I've done it, there you go. You see, I'm missing all sorts of shots. Utterly dreadful at times. I cringe at the footage. That's why I'm trying not to look at it too much. It is right there in front of me though, so it's hard to ignore. But as we said, it was a slow year, but people loved sniping, and the demo was the convoy mission right up until the tank showed up, when I think the Panzer, or it might be a Tiger tank, I'm not entirely sure. Whenever that tank showed up, that's when the demo ended. And it just caught my attention a lot, that demo, and I ended up picking up the game. And I wasn't sure what to make of it, how much fun it was going to be. And it was this mission though. This mission was when I was like, yeah, this game's good because it's an exciting mission. You know, I think there's a bit of a stigma with these sniper games that they're kind of boring. You don't get many set pieces, and I think for most of them that is true. But this mission has a very exciting moment in the last 5 minutes. It really ramps up, and it's at that specific moment we'll talk about when we get there. But that was the moment I was like, yeah, this game's awesome. Despite all its flaws and how janky it is. And what is it with playing janky games at the minute? We're playing The Evil Within, which is full of Japanese jank, but this is more clunky than anything with the controls and the cover system, which is why I don't tend to use it too often. And I say it again, it's something they've massively improved on this game now, and it's staggering to think it all came from the success of this game. I know there was a Sniper Elite 1, but that came out in 2005, and this is by no means an immediate sequel. For all intents and purposes, this is a remake of that game, while being a completely different game. But it's a version 2, that's what the V2 stands for, if you've ever wondered. That and V2 rockets. And of course it just stands for being Sniper Elite 2. But because I mean, if we talk about the other contemporary sniper games, I think there was that Sniper Ghost Warrior. In fact, that's its own little series, isn't it? Now I have to be honest, I never played it. I remember it coming out though, because I remember it being compared to this, but I think this game got a lot more praise from people. I think they were quite similar in that neither of them were great games. They had a lot of flaws. That game had the bullet cam, but this obviously went the extra step with the X-ray cam, which has become iconic to this series. But I think the Sniper Ghost Warrior, I think that was a lot more generic and dull, because it was just your standard military shooter, you know, modern military shooter with just using a sniper. I think that's how it felt. You felt limited in that game. It just felt like you were playing a Call of Duty game, which wasn't as good as Call of Duty, and you can't use your assault rifle basically. You just got to use a sniper, which that could be a completely wrong take, but you're getting just a simple take from someone that never played it and from what they've seen. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll pick it up. I'm sure it's extremely cheap for PS3, and I still got my PS3 from time to time, so I'm sure I'll pick it up one day when it's probably like 99p or something on Amazon used. But from what I remember of that series, I think the second one was quite decent, and then the third one came out not long ago, and I think that was a bit crap as well. And I think there's been a new one called Contracts, which sounds like something more appropriate for Hitman, but I think that was half decent as well. So who knows? If you like this, you may get some joy out of them. But I think this had a lot more fun with it, because Carl is this very action hero character. You know, he does things in this game that would make James Bond blush, to be honest, especially in the final 2 missions. So, as opposed to Sniper Ghost Warrior, where all you do is just go around and snipe brown people, I assume, in jungles. Which may sound appealing to some, but I think particularly it's probably aged worse, because modern military shooters have become very tired now. World War II did as well, but I think there's this fondness to go back to World War II now because it's been long enough. Because it's funny, isn't it? For years we had World War II shooters, and everyone was like, we're bloody sick of these. COD 4 comes out, everyone loves that. We're like, yep, let's have more of them, please. And then, only about 8 years later, people want World War II again? Even less than that. So, just goes to show. Trends do come back. But just to touch on this section, guys, it's interesting. You can do a bit of stealth here because there is noise. I don't know how useful that noise cover would be, but as you can see, I could take out that guy, and I managed to take out 2 people with the sound cover. So if you're a better player than me, which there's a good chance you are, you can probably do all of this stealthy. The problem generally is enemies finding the bodies, I find. That's what generally screws me over. But all you got to do is plant explosives around this facility, and it can be a bit tricky, guys, because you know, enemies put you down so quick on Sniper Elite, so you can get snuck on very easily. So just make sure you're always checking your angles, and you'll be absolutely fine on this level. I say the first real hard level in this game is the one after this one at the museum. That one gave me a bit of trouble at the end because of the checkpoints being terrible, for lack of a better word. But yeah, just carry on sniping as always. As I say, I've never known the wind to be like left or right in this room. It's generally always centre, as it should be, because I mean you are in a building pretty much. So It's just bullet drop you got to contend with. But if you do have this remaster, which you should definitely pick up because it's very cheap, I'm interested to try out the DLC levels. Now I did actually get the DLC back in the day, but I only had the PS3 version, so I never got to play that canal mission, so I'm looking forward to trying that out. And I'm going for Platinum on this game, so there's a few trophies I need to get in relation to them DLC missions. I've done a bit of reading on some of the St. Pierre ones, and some of them sound like just terrible. Like, you've got to kill every enemy in the map before getting to the church while being undetected. And this game is glitchy with its detection at the best of times, so that could be potentially painful, but I'm committed, I'm sure I'll get it. It's another easy platinum to add to the collection, I'm sure. And it's funny because I have a friend that I do these games co-op with, all of them, all the Sniper Elites, and he doesn't have a platinum, and he should, to be honest, in my eyes he already has one, because he should have the Sniper Elite free one, but we both had a glitch where we did all the optional objectives and it didn't save for some reason. Oh, this is what I mean, guys, about enemies coming behind you, so just be careful of that. Just make sure you're always checking behind you, because you don't want to get snuck on by somebody with an MP40. Just take them out. And fortunately, when you are in close quarters, as soon as you shoot somebody with an MP40, they will always flinch. So remember that. Very, very powerful tool. You don't want to be caught with a rifle like that, because that's quite awkward. But that's what I mean, guys. As soon as you turn your back, you need to be prepared for the people to come around the corners. But as I was saying, Sniper Elite 3 had a lot of glitches with the trophies, so it's a big shame, so that should be a platinum that I and this other person also has. I think that's another big thing that leads to the success of this franchise. Any game is better in co-op. I think that's a simple fact. I truly believe that. You know, you can have the most boring, dull game in the world, but if you make it co-op, instantly 10 times better, and that applies to this game. Not that it's a dull, terrible game, but you know, this game I would say is like a 6 or 7 out of 10. But with the fun I've had on co-op, I can get 20 to 50 hours of fun out of this game, which would normally, by myself, probably be looking at 8 hours most. Because the thing is, the game never does anything spectacular. The co-op modes are pretty dull. They're not that much fun to do, but doing the campaign co-op is a lot of fun. Particularly on Sniper Elite difficulty, which I honestly think, guys, is the way to play this game. Sure, the snipers can be a bit unforgiving, but I think that's the way to experience a sniper game, personally. So, if you're going to pick this game up, make sure you can get a friend along too. You'll have double the fun. And it's something they've kept right through 3 and 4. And Zombie Army's gone the extra mile by letting you have 4 friends on it, which is even better. But I think we've almost got all these explosives point placed now. As you can see, that's a glorious third-person cover trick in full effect. Playing it like it's Gears of War in insane difficulty. So, there you go. But yeah, I've been trying to think, like, with 2012, I honestly don't, I said it last mission, but I honestly don't know what my game of the year would be. Like, I honestly think it could be Black Ops 2, and I don't like Black Ops 2. Like, I love the campaign and that's it in that game. It's possibly my favourite COD campaign. Although I think COD 4 still wins out just for having a better pace overall. And I've been trying to think of what other games I need to cover on this channel, really, because after The Evil Within, I've still got the Devil May Cry series that'll keep going, but after that I'm a bit stuck, to be honest. Maybe we could do the PS4 CODs, do them all on Veteran or something. It's just a shame that the PS4 CODs is the collection of worst CODs you've ever seen in your life, but who knows, maybe somebody wants to see Ghost on Veteran, Ghosts and Advanced Warfare. Of course there is Modern Warfare Remastered we could do, which in my opinion is a poor man's Modern Warfare, but here's an option. Oh, quick thing here, guys. I like to place dynamite in a few landmines around here because I know enemies are going to spawn through this corner, so it allows me to get a few explosive kills. So, worthwhile tip to remember. Coming up to the section that I was referencing earlier, this is the bit that made me really tell I was going to like this game, and made me glad that I did pick it up all them years ago in 2012. Which, isn't it scary when remasters come out and you realise just how old you are, and how old a game is, and how old those memories you have are? So, sorry, I thought my mic was going to cut out then. I do apologise, stop talking then. But I was just saying, yeah, remasters, they're great at telling you you're old, aren't they? Absolutely love them for that. Especially when we need remasters of remasters at this point. Because I was just thinking, like, the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, I got that in 2012. And, like, that's now, like, as old as this, that's 8 years. And, like, the games on there were old when the remaster came out. So never mind now. They're just ancient. Very scary. But hopefully with the PS5 it's going to be backwards compatible, which everyone's saying it is going to be backwards compatible, but I don't think we have an official word yet from Sony, do we? Like, it should be, but I think they're going to... I honestly do not trust Sony. I think they're going to do something dodgy. And then I was hearing that it's only going to be the top most played 100 games. Oh, so that's great. So everyone can play Fortnite and Warzone on the PS5. That's going to be glorious, isn't it? But enough ranting, because we've got a tricky section here. This is the bit that I absolutely love in this mission. Make sure you take cover though. But it's this moment, I don't think you get... People have this stigma that this kind of stuff doesn't happen in sniper games. You don't get exciting set pieces like this, but this is a very exciting moment with all the music and the explosions blaring. I absolutely love this section. So just make sure you're sniping everyone, guys, and once you've cleared it you can move out. There's nothing too complex to worry about here. It's all about making sure you don't get overzealous in cover, basically, and getting caught out. That's the main thing. So sometimes it can be a bit tricky, but make sure you're checking all these, all the levels on this area, and you should be absolutely fine. And as you can see, I got a few explosive kills earlier. But you know you're doing well because everything will kick off like that. As I get a nice kill here. You might have just heard me talking and then loving that shot. But there's a crossfade because believe it or not I did die. In fact I died twice I think here, which were... They weren't... It wasn't that the game was too tricky, I was just a bit foolish and got a bit too risky with my moves. Just make sure everything's clear and don't make my mistake. Interesting thing, the camera's actually... The bullet camera is actually extremely useful sometimes at telling you where certain enemies are. Because obviously you can use it to see round corners and further on in the map. As you saw just then, I saw there was a guy further at the far end, so... Always be on the lookout when you get the camera like that, you might just find somebody hiding. It might just help you out. And this will be definitely useful to have your sound effects turned down because you'll actually be able to hear yourself think when this is all going on. I have no idea what I was on about in this party. I was chatting some rubbish about can you survive lung shots and can you survive being shot in the brain. It was a very, very strange PS4 party chat. The weird discussions we have when we're shooting Germans. Because my friend in question, he's also as said he was going for the platinum and he was doing I think he was doing the Nurendorf outpost level, which fun fact for that level, the developers of this game, Rebellion, said that that level was them basically trying the formula of Sniper Elite 3 in Sniper Elite V2. So, and it does kind of show because you have a bit more choice for that level than you do in any mission in this game. So, definitely worth remembering. It's just an interesting fact, really. But yeah, make sure you know about the L2 aiming, guys. That's what I'm doing here, if I didn't mention that already. Because that's how you do the standard third-person aiming instead of the scope. It's incredible how little you can actually know going into the game. But yeah, good game. I do like this section as we're coming to the end. All we got to do now, if you're wondering, is just get to where we started. That's literally the end point. Because some of these levels are actually very short once you know all the route. Like, the game doesn't really span a great space on any of these levels, but it uses them well. But look at that guy. I love that guy. The most nonchalant German ever. Just standing there while the whole base blows up. But here I go chasing this officer. With the Springfield. Yeah, if I was just playing this by myself, I would use a better rifle, but... I'm going to be getting frustrated here, but we get a nice moving kill. Because I was trying to get that get the trophy, which was shoot enemies that are moving. Which is that one just popping up there, gung-ho. I got 75 out of 100, so I should get that quite soon. I also need to hold my breath for 30 minutes. That's another trophy I'm close to getting. There's everything. I don't think this can damage you guys, but I'd make sure you don't go too slow anyway. I think it's just ambient explosions for dramatic effect. I don't think they'll actually damage Carl. And you should get a checkpoint here, and this is the end of the mission, guys. You just got to get to the end. But make sure you watch out for this. I'll watch this garbage here. So I'm in cover, and I get shot. So we're working with Kane and Lynch cover, basically. Which, if you don't know what that is, it basically means if your head's not actually in cover, you can still get shot. Really annoys me. But the cover's a bit dodgy in this game, to say the best. Another thing I don't like is the delay from L1. When you press L1, you don't automatically go into aiming. Carl does this get out of cover animation that lasts a bit too long for my liking. Because I was trying to get the sniper to fire early at me so I could catch him out, but Carl likes to do this little dance when getting out of cover, like that just then. Like, that's got to be a solid second before I'm actually aiming. That's something the sequels have massively improved, I think. But yeah, I get the first shot and I just follow it up with a second one. So, interesting that somebody else came from that position where I've already cleared it, but... So we're going to get the last spawn of enemies, guys. We'll get a big truck, so I'd throw a few grenades to get a few. I don't think it really works. So... You do not have to kill everyone here, by the way. You can just run and go, because that's what I'm going to do, actually. I get quite lucky with the enemy placement. But you've got a checkpoint just before this, so... You can be a bit more aggressive than you might normally be. So take out the officer. Actually I don't, because my aim's absolutely awful, and I should be shot for it. As long as I'm not doing the shooting, because I clearly miss. But I take over here, and this is when I realise there's not many enemies actually here. So I think I just decide to book it. You might not get this lucky yourself, guys. It's kind of RNG, but you know, it's worth trying because you do have a checkpoint. So, but there you go. That's the end of the mission, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope it helped, and I'll join you for the museum level. Thanks for watching. You take care now.